It's a podcast. It's kind of unique, but kind of the same.
All right. Hey. Thanks for tuning into the Laser Line Podcast. I'm Philip Shutt.
I'm Trevor Cruz.
And I'm Travis Ingram.
All right, welcome in. Hey,
Welcome.
Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. I know we are.
What everybody had for lunch?
Yeah. Well, today we all had Jersey Mike's. We had to go meet the accountant, fudge the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Met with a tax. What do they call it? Accountant?
Yeah.
Yeah, accountant.
CPA.
I think it might go well. Hopefully. We're all trying to avoid that.
We got to find
Income
someone
tax.
to cook our butts.
What did we all get at Jersey Mike's?
Who
We
wants to
all
go
got the
first?
number 9s.
Yeah. I got the regular though.
We got the minis, which are
But
not very many.
yeah,
They're big.
I was gonna say I didn't bring it up
He
during
cut 'em
lunch.
big, yeah.
Yeah, and usually it's the mini is its own separate little nugget.
They ran out of the bread, I think, and he cut it himself, and it was like half
Regular.
an inch less than yours.
Which I think is kind of we've measured the mini and the regular before, and it's
They're not
they're
that
very
different,
close.
but
I got the regular and I'm stuffed. Like I still
yeah,
feel
there's
it.
stuff too.
Cool. Well, that's good. I guess do we want to jump into the movie that we saw, or is there something
Sure.
else we want to jump into? So we've all seen Dunkirk. Yep. And these are our thoughts on Dunkirk.
Or yeah.
What do you think? Initial
Well,
impressions.
Trevor, you saw it over the weekend, and then yesterday, Travis and I went to go see it. We did a wild
Yeah.
card, actually.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
there you go.
People who don't know what wild cards are, we have this thing with Laserline called wild cards, where we just call out wild card and don't do work and go do fun stuff, whatever somebody says. So
And we did that. It was pretty fun.
cool.
I think overall, I liked it.
Yeah, I did too. I saw it on Sunday with my wife. We kind of just spur of the moment. She was kind of funny actually. For a long time when the movie was when the trailers were playing and whatnot, she was like, she kept saying she didn't like Christopher Nolan. And I was like, how do you not like Christopher Nolan? You love Dark Knight and like Batman Begins and I think as I started listing off movies, she was like, oh, maybe that's somebody else. And then by the end of by Sunday, she was like, you want to go see Dunkirk? And I was like, yeah, sure. So that's what we did.
Cool.
But yeah, I would say first impressions, I liked the movie. I thought it was, it was pretty good.
Liked it. Didn't love it.
Yeah.
I would say the same thing.
Yeah. Where would y'all...
I don't even know where to start. I feel like
I tried not to say anything on Monday when I told y'all I had seen it. I didn't want to like give too much away or anything or like...
maybe we should just go ahead and say spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers maybe. But by the time you probably see this, I'm sure you have better have seen this movie or it won't be in theaters.
Yeah. So Dunkirk, all the British soldiers are trapped on a beach. 400,000 soldiers waiting to get transport home to Britain. That's the premise. Where to start? I mean, to me, I think that style trumped story in a way. There's a lot of cool set pieces. But basically, spoiler alert, he intercut 3 different sections of the event. And I think the intercutting of the timeline, which he's famous for, I think it just worked to the detriment of sort of the power, the impact that certain scenes could have had if they had just played out linearly.
Right.
I think it took away from the power rather than adding to it.
Yeah. I mean, an example we talked about was the civilian ships showing up to save the troops. It didn't land.
Right. So for everyone, the premise of the
As
movie,
ships would
it's
land
sort
at
of
sea.
the guys waiting on the beach is one sort of section. Then they eventually call in all these civilian ships to come pick up them, and that's another section, like a father and son and this other boy on a little like motorboat going out to save them. And then the third section is like Tom Hardy and his Spitfire crew, in the planes, shooting down the enemy ships who are bombarding the soldiers.
Let's talk about that real quick before you dive in. It's like I brought up I was confused. That was like, I guess that's a good first impression. It was like pretty good, confused at times. And for me, the confusing thing was the 1 week, 1 day, 1 hour title cards.
off the top.
off the top, which is like I sort of by the end kind of thought I understood it, but like you kind of explained it, you know.
Right. So like the story of the people waiting on the beach, it said 1 week, and then they they get bombarded by a plane, and they go, "Where's the Air Force?" And then it cuts to the old man preparing his ship, his little boat, and it says 1 day.
Mm-hmm.
And then it cuts, and he's preparing his ship to leave to save them. And then it shows Tom Hardy in the sky flying around, shooting bad guys, and it says 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
And we had no idea what that meant.
Yeah.
And I guess because when you're first watching the film, you just different shots almost different right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
So what it actually is like the Dunkirk event lasted a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then the story of the guy on the ship going to save them lasted 1 day, like one night and a day.
Mm-hmm.
Like a 24-hour period, and then like the story of Tom Hardy flying around is 1 hour, but it's all cut together.
Right.
But like we were saying, to me it kind of but right off the bat okay, these people are waiting. The old man is coming to save them, and Tom Hardy is saving them too with a plane. So to me, they didn't get to set up the hardship of the film, like that one line, "Where's the Air Force?" Well, like 2 shots later, you see the Air Force is already there visually, and then like you said later, when all the civilian ships come to save them, and it's like, "Oh wow, this is amazing." We already knew that was happening from like the second scene of the movie,
which is the intercutting hurts the story.
It takes away from like the impact of the journey, the emotional impact of, and I don't think you ever really feel. You don't get to feel that weight of constant bombardment and not knowing what to do or how to get out of the situation.
Right. And it's like one of the scenes where I just started thinking of this as you were talking about it, was like one of the scenes that happens is the soldiers go and they seek shelter in this ship that's run aground, and the tide's gone out, so it's low tide, so it's just sitting there on the beach. And so they all go in it and sort of seek shelter or whatever. And in the time that they're waiting, the enemy starts sort of firing onto the hull of the ship, like they firing machine guns or whatever. They're like target practice. And that scene was just so funny because it was like, to me, it was a cool idea, which is what I think happens a lot in this movie. It's like it's a cool idea, but doesn't quite make sense. And it's like you don't know where, like, honestly, because like the ship was perpendicular to the water, right? So it was like its bow or whatever was like headed towards the water, and they were shooting. So if they were shooting holes in the hull and the side of it, that means the enemy would have had to have been on the beach firing at it, where the troops were who were waiting to be rescued. So it was like, I don't know.
The logistics of that ship were
a lot of things in the movie where it's like logistics, you're like, and geography, it's like it gets kind of confusing.
Very
and
confusing.
Yeah, and like that's like a scene that's trying to create sort of an emotion and whatnot, but it also doesn't quite make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, going back to like emotional impact, I almost feel that film had none.
Yeah,
there was no emotional connection to anything.
Everybody kind of felt emotionally.
And there was so much confusion that. Remember, there was like that one shot where there was like a boy. There was a shot where they're saving these soldiers from the water. The old
they're
man
like pulling
and
the
son
guy
in the little motorboat, and it's like this one guy, and he can't quite get pulled in, and they're driving away, and his head is underwater, and you're like, oh, is he drowning? Mm-hmm. And then it's like this big moment, like, oh, he's alive, and oh, it's the hero kind of the story, one of the heroes of the story, and we looked at each other, we're like, oh, I didn't even know that was him. Like, I didn't even know.
Yeah,
there's so much like I don't even know where they are, and I think the intercutting just makes that more confusing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like constantly like the main ship that gets bombed and is sinking, where the way they intercut it, it's like how many times did we watch that boat sink?
At least 3 times.
And
we saw the same boat sink in different situations.
Yeah, and there was times where I had to like question like, is that the same boat? And it's like, oh yeah.
I don't know. I think there's at least 2 boats.
Right.
Yeah, there was at least 2 boats.
Right. There's
we saw it like
Cillian
5 times.
Murphy one, and then that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the one that you see where all the oil spills out and they're all swimming in it, like
I
that.
feel like saw that sink 3 different times and through different perspectives, which is
Yeah.
kind of a cool idea. Like we were saying, cool ideas, but confusing. And
Yeah.
you never want your audience to be confused
No.
throughout the entire picture, which
Yeah.
was I think how we felt
Mm-hmm.
at different points.
Yeah, it sort of wraps up confusion in the end, but
Mm-hmm.
kind of not. Really.
Yeah, like we said,
Yeah.
it kind of came together for us in the end, to where like it was
Yeah.
pretty cool. But that's not worth it to kind
Mhm.
of sacrifice your whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like to stay true to some kind of rule of editing
Mhm.
rather than what is better for the film.
Mm-hmm. And man, how funny was it? It's like going into that movie, another Christopher Nolan film where Tom Hardy is wearing a mask
Oh, brother.
and having to see like planes and all that stuff was so funny. I was
So
like
funny.
laughing to myself the whole time. I was just thinking about Bane the entire time he's in that.
And we talked about how like Cillian Murphy was
Oh,
one of
yeah.
the actors. He's like
Yes.
the Scarecrow, and
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
in whatever the heck,
Yeah.
Inception.
Inception, yeah.
And we're like, he's like classic Cillian Murphy, just like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I'm a scaredy cat. You can't do that.
He
And
like
then-
started out in the Batman movie, he started out different, but sort of ended up sort of back
Basically
into
the
that
same, yeah.
that style of role that he always plays, yeah.
Mhm.
And then when we said like the Tom Hardy, even like he had the mask on as well, but he's just who's that? Tom Hardy.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like the
Man.
savior.
S and that guy's D. I
But-
don't know what it is.
You brought up the other day like about how you get those characters sometimes in film like that are just like so cool, like Rufio
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah.
like Tyler Durden from
Marty McFly.
Fight Club, Marty McFly,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and it was kind of like that. I was like, oh, that
Yeah.
Spitfire guy was pretty cool.
He was
Like,
cool.
Shot
he was
down all
like,
those
he shot down all
planes.
those planes.
Yeah,
like,
and I think did
saved
he
the
shoot
day.
down a plane without an engine?
Yeah, the
he
very
shot down
end.
two,
right?
I think.
It's
Two
like-
planes without an engine.
And he was doing all that shit with the gas and the mileage and like the time and all that stuff because his gauge
His,
got
like, gas
shot out.
gauge was
So he had
out.
he had a lot of cool things going for him.
He was
for
a
sure.
badass,
Yeah, he
you
was. He was really cool. Yeah.
Okay, one other thing I wanted to bring up that we mentioned before was like that it felt like the movie was really cool, but it feels like maybe they spent a lot of their money in certain sections, and maybe that's also why like they didn't
Yeah.
really they didn't do a lot of the bombardment on the beach because it's probably like really expensive. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seemed like each little chunk of the movie they maybe filmed like 5 days max, and then kind of like hobbled together the picture. And I don't know, you guys chime in on that. Like it seemed like almost like everything they shot with each character, they had to use like every shot they had to make this movie run its length. It seemed like nothing hit the cutting room floor. Like
Right. Yeah.
I
even
wonder, we
like
should
at
look
the
up
very
how long the shoot was.
at the
Yeah.
very end, there's that the whole sequence with Tom Hardy on the beach, his plane burning and getting captured by the Germans, and it's like I think like it's just they show that one shot of like Tom Hardy's face and the Germans or whatever, and gets like taken away, and then I think there's like a shot, maybe one more shot of the plane, and it's like you would think that would be a good shot to end on it. Then they like cut back to the guy on the train for like it felt like really short, it felt like 2 seconds, and then movie over. It was like you said, nothing on the cutting room floor. It was like the studio said, it's got to be an hour and 45 or you're fired. And so it's like, oh, well, just put that last shot in there and, movie done. Kind of. It's like,
In several ways, it felt like. Well, I guess I'll say too. Like y'all mentioned that it was the shortest running time ever,
yeah.
potentially
Of his films.
of his films. Yeah.
That's what Mike told me because he saw it.
But yeah, it seems
Who's
like
Mike?
he had to use all his
Roommate.
footage in order to make it a full length film.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like
It had a $150 million budget.
How long was the production?
It says it's 2 hours, but it's,
It's not 2 hours
It's not
because
2
we
hours.
went into the theater at 2 and we're out before 4.
yeah.
And there was previews, so
I thought it said.
it was like an
Hour
hour and
45.
40. Yeah.
Does it say there how long the production
Hour
was?
and 46 minutes.
Okay. And that's with credits, which were short.
Where should I look to see how long it was? Should I just Google it?
I
Oh my
guess.
gosh. I don't.
Mhm.
What time is it?
Miller time.
Another time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Trevor said he had a good Miller time, so
Oh yeah, it wasn't.
Good
It wasn't.
lunch
It's not like it's not gonna blow your pants off or anything. But
You don't know that.
well, yeah, maybe we'll see. So T.J. Miller, this is what Miller Time's all about, what he's doing, and something that came across my radar was it was Comic-Con last week, and they released a bunch of trailers, and Ready Player One trailer came out. Ready Player One is a book by Ernest Cline, if you don't know what it is. It's a really fun read. It's actually a lot of fun if you're like a fan of the 80s. Basically, the premise is it takes place in the not too distant future. Basically, the Earth is almost uninhabitable at this point. It's overpopulated, and everybody lives in these things called stacks, which are like, it looks like a big junkyard, basically, with like cars and RVs stacked up on each other, and those are people's homes. It's very Wall-E-esque, yeah. So, but the whole movie is just a big 80s nostalgia, or the book. Basically, the way people escape is they go into this like VR world called the Oasis, which everybody spends a lot of money on, and like it's made a shit ton. And like the creator of the Oasis, basically at the very beginning of the book, has passed away, but left an Easter egg in the game somewhere. And so you have to go through the game and find the Easter egg to get his fortune. Whoever finds it first wins it. And you're basically rich forever. But in the game,
I don't want to know too much of it either. Is that?
Can I show
because
you
I haven't watched the movie.
Well, I don't know. I wanted to show you all the trailer because I wanted you all to talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
Especially you, Phil, because I think there's certain things that'll resonate with you a little bit.
All right.
On it. But anyway, I can stop. I can shut up and stop talking about it. But one of the characters in it, IROC, he's like this big idiot guy, and he's played by T.J. Miller. So that's kind of like my Miller time. So he's like off doing that he's like in a Spielberg movie now. So I think that's the first time he's been in a Spielberg movie.
That's probably why he was so cocky about leaving the show. He's like, "Hey,
yeah,
I'm with Spielberg." And also in that article before, he was like, he brought up the Emoji Movie like 5 times.
Yeah.
But in the back, he's probably like,
I'm
in a Spielberg film.
Did you see the thing too on Kimmel? His interview on Kimmel recently. He talked more about how it was more about that. Like Kimmel wanted him to stay on Silicon Valley, and kept lobbying for him to like get back over there. And it's like, go back to HBO and get back on that show because you're great and whatever. Mm-hmm. And he said no. He's like, I thought it would be good to change the story, so I left. And that's like basically what he said. But so
I think that's bull. I think
that is.
I think it's a cover up.
Yeah,
that's what he's told to tell by contract obligations, probably.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got to be. But I mean, I'm not gonna discredit him or whatever. I think, like we talked about before, if that is true, he's doing that. If part of that's true, it's like, oh yeah, good job for sort of, I don't know, disrupting things.
His brain aneurysm's setting in.
Yeah,
starting to go bad.
No.
All right.
Oh, but do y'all want to see the trailer real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, here we are. Trevor's pulling up the trailer for Ready Player One. We're about to watch.
I don't even know why. Like T.J. Miller's not even in this trailer.
About to do a react.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, first time watch, bro.
This is like Two Girls, One Cup.
Audio up.
I guess maybe we'll link it at the bottom.
Yeah, we'll link it. One of the podcasts I listen to, they have a thing called show notes. We'll put it in the show notes. Okay, you ready? Can you see it, Travis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go.
I live here in Columbus, Ohio.
Flying over city.
So
In
that's Columbus.
2045, it's still ranked the fastest growing city on Earth. But sure doesn't seem like it when
Junkyards.
you live in the
Jumping
States.
around. Lady
They
dancing.
called our generation the missing
Going into a
millions.
van.
Missing not because we went anywhere. There's nowhere left to go
Putting on gloves.
except the Oasis.
Putting on his VR helmet. Going into the Oasis.
Feels like I mean anything.
Now he's in the computer world.
It's reality or your own imagination.
Flying people. Hey, that's My Giant.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Giant? Or My Giant?
Oh, yeah, Iron Giant.
It's Iron Giant. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. That's the DeLorean.
Oh, there's going to be a bunch of... This is like...
There's so many 80s references in the books. In the book.
Oh, wait, that was...
Yeah.
That was... Who's that guy? Freddy Krueger?
There's so many references in the book because of the Oasis. He listens to Rush while he games.
How do they get away with the IP rights on this?
I don't know. That's what I want to know because I want to see
He
the
must
movie.
have paid
'cause
for it.
the amount of references is crazy. There's
Also,
like
depending on what studio you go with, they might own like at least half of them.
yeah.
Yep.
There's a in the book, I won't give away too much, but there's a mission that he goes on, and the mission is he has to recite from start to finish the
Is that like a
entire.
biker Mike from Mars bike?
There's the Akira
What's
motorcycle.
the Akira motorcycle?
He has to recite the entire movie War Games from start to finish. I think it's War Games. It's been a while since I've read the book, but it's just
That makes sense.
There's just yeah.
The
so-
DeLorean flying around.
It's like 80s masturbation right there.
Yeah,
It
that is-
exactly. Yeah, and that's what the
Man.
book is. The book's a lot of fun to read. And you know, like, what is this?
It's autoplay. Turn it off.
It's that movie I
Um,
want to see.
But the book's a lot of fun to read because I mean, it's just once he enters into one of like the levels or the missions to like, because
Does it move along pretty well? Because I've been looking for a new book to read.
you should read it. Yeah, yeah.
check it
You'll
out.
you'll blow through it.
Looks
if
like
you,
Reboot mixed with
yeah.
Wally mixed with
You'll get
everything from the 80s.
You'll get sucked in pretty easy. Like I finished it pretty quick.
Oh,
and
cool.
it moved.
I'm
it
waiting
was
for a
fun.
callback from Barnes and Noble, so when I go and pick
Yeah.
up my other book, I'll pick that up.
Yeah, get ready
For a
Player One
job?
and read it.
Nah.
You're gonna work out. You're gonna work at Barnes and Noble. Do we get free coffee?
Uh huh.
Do they have Barney's coffee or Starbucks?
Starbucks.
Oh, okay.
Barney's, much like that other bookstore that closed, is gone.
Barney's is gone.
No, wait, is it?
The clothing or the coffee?
I think the coffee.
The coffee.
might be gone.
Yeah. There used to be one downstairs. Is Barney still around?
Barney the dinosaur?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He
Speaking
might
of
be in that movie Ready Player One.
He'll be in the sequel, Ready Player
speaking
2.
of that, well, I guess that's my Miller time. And
That's
so-
Miller time, y'all.
That's Miller time.
And he wasn't in that?
He's not in the trailer, no. And so
Maybe
it's like
he's one
kind
of
of
those
a lame
CGI
one.
characters.
Yeah, well, he might be. But
Is that big guy driving a truck? Maybe
but
that's
yeah,
him.
I look forward to watching it.
It's cool that Spielberg's doing it because
Yeah.
is he going to put like E.T. in it? Is E.T. in the book?
Probably.
I think so. It's been a while since I've read the book. There's so many references in the book. It's like, I was like, how are you going to do this movie? You know?
Yeah.
it
But
looked like all CGI. So
yeah, and that's what makes it kind of easy too. Is like the VR world doesn't have to be perfect, you know?
Yeah.
And so it can kind of look like a video game. It's like we talked about visual effects kind of look like a video game a lot of times. It's like, oh well, this works perfectly in a way, you know. But
I was trying to figure out who the lead was, but I think it's Cyclops from X-Men Apocalypse.
yeah, he's got
I think it's young Cyclops from X-Men Apocalypse. Wow, you should have done that into the mic.
Nah.
Anyway, what's the next topic?
Oh, so next topic is
How big are our
no, let's
bank accounts?
since we were talking about Travis getting a call back,
Huge.
should we jump into what's Travis's wife doing?
Yeah.
yeah.
Do-do-do-do-do-do. This is what's Travis's wife doing. We all
What is she
love
Well,
Travis's
let's jump
wife.
on here. Ooh, we get a double photo today, and it doesn't disappoint.
Phone is blowing up.
We'll go ahead and post this on the YouTube. But here you go. Are you guys up there yet?
Oh yeah, I remember when I took that photo. Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah?
said, "Hey babe, just
That's
bring,
like
go
where were
like
you
this
standing?
and show them."
Were you, how far away were you? Do you have like a big
We
zoom
got to
line
explain. This is the first time we've done Travis's wife.
Oh, yeah,
Explain
sorry.
who is your wife.
Oh right.
How'd you meet?
Slide? Yeah.
Well,
She's
if
big on
you've ever
Instagram.
Seen?
No, we talked about
the
Travis's
first
wife
time.
in the first episode, but we can refresh.
No, I don't think we did.
we did.
mentioned we might want to do it.
No, we talked about it.
We talked about
'Cause
it,
I remember we talked about the music video.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, never mind.
but we can do a refresh.
Yeah. Well, I met her at we were just I was walking down the street and I saw her, and I'm like, wow,
Who is she?
my wife. Well, her name is Emily.
Who's your wife?
Her name is
Emily Ratajkowski. He's married to the supermodel.
Yep.
I'm Mr. Ratajkowski.
He's Mr. He took her name.
took
I
her
would,
name.
I would too.
It's not the only
honestly,
thing of hers
so.
I
I would
took.
take anything she gave me, which she does.
Oh man.
On the weekends, you're out of town.
Nah, I know what she's up to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
so
she's
she
up
has
to.
a-
She's
yeah,
she's
so-
a babe.
We'll post that photo. That's what she's up to.
This might
Let's
get a
see.
little boring because
Yeah.
she's probably on the beach in a bikini. I'm gonna
What
willing
is
to
this?
bet.
This
No,
caption,
she's on a
though?
boat too much, honestly. I tell her, you're going to get skin cancer. Put some sunscreen on.
It honestly,
I
a lot
know,
of
yeah.
some of her photos looks like she's getting sun damage.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
worried
that's
about
not
her. I
good.
tell her, you got to go see the dermatologist, Emily.
Gotta
But
protect that beautiful skin.
she's like, I got to go to photo shoot. And I'm like, come on.
Her caption says, "When Paps provide Instagrams."
Paps.
Paps.
Blue ribbon.
Or Paps,
Paps.
smear.
Yeah, right. Well, cheers, Paps. Does that mean her dad took this photo? Come on, Dad. Quit creeping on your daughter.
Her dad's
Yeah.
hot.
He's a nice man.
Yeah. So that's what Travis's wife's been up to.
What was the first time you met him? How was dinner? Did you go? What'd y'all do?
Well, I went over. He said, hey, nice to meet you. You know, my daughter's a lovely woman, and I want you to treat her with respect. And I said, Mr. Radzikowski, you have nothing but my respect. I respect you, your family, all of it. I respect all of what you got.
So
Just
what
a
was
bunch of
his
respect
first?
coming your
What
way.
was Mr. Radzikowski's first impression of you when you walked into the door? Also, is she taller than you? Like,
Yeah.
does that bother you?
No,
I don't think that would bother me. Would it bother you?
I think it would bother me to be shorter than my bride.
Well, how come?
Probably just social norms.
Yeah.
We break a lot of social norms. It's
Yeah.
okay.
So what? When you walked in the door, what were you wearing? Were you dressed nice? Were you
I
taking
don't
her out on a
remember.
date, or were you having a family dinner?
Family dinner. She
Okay.
invited me over.
What was his first impression of you?
He was like, so this is the man that you've been talking of, okay? I had just, been working outside. I was all hot and sweaty.
Right. You took your shirt off, probably.
Yeah.
Hey, you weren't dressed up. You didn't shower before dinner.
No, Travis is the confidence.
We got rushed over there
I
really
mean,
quick, and so
the
Did you want
confidence
to? Did you want
level.
to do one of these, like swing your hair and sweat
Oh, yeah.
driplets drop off?
and he said, we have a shower upstairs, and
Uh-huh.
so
Well,
we went up. We
Did-
showered
didn't
not
you
me and
say
her
that-
dad.
Didn't you
but-
say that
you
were-
showered together with Mr. Radzikowski?
I thought you were
Mr.
standing.
Jacuzzi?
I thought you were standing in the kitchen with your shirt off and your back to him, and he came and yelled at you as if he thought it was Emily. He's like, "Emily, put some clothes on,"
And then I turned around,
and it was
like,
you. Yeah,
the man meant for my daughter.
yeah. There
So
it
did he
was.
shake your hand? Did he have a good firm handshake?
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me you went up and showered in Mr. Radzikowski's house the first time you met him,
Yep.
and you just said Emily went up and showered with you,
Yeah, it was.
and he encouraged
steamy.
that?
Well, she said, "Papa, I'm gonna go change."
She calls him Papa. That's so cute.
Yeah, it is cute.
That probably comes from when we first saw her and thought she was like from another country, but she's just a regular
yeah.
person.
Papa. Pap.
So yeah,
Wow. What was the entree?
it was chicken cordon bleu.
Chicken cordon bleu.
Yeah,
Wow. This
I haven't
is
heard that
fancy.
dish in
some
a
like
while.
rice pilaf.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sure.
what was the dessert?
There was none.
And then did you peel off?
Yeah.
Oh, I
her
guess.
clothes and have
yeah.
dessert?
It's-
Oh, yeah.
I guess that's rude to eat
Yeah.
dessert in front of her.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, she probably doesn't eat a whole lot.
How's her mother?
wonderful. They look so much alike. I was like shocked.
Did the mother seem like good looking? Like Emily's gonna age well?
Yeah,
That's good.
you can go and see her. She takes a lot of photos with her wife or her mom.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Oh.
they look very similar. And like she like takes photos and she looks like her mom. She'll like cut her hair and look exactly like her mom. It's very kind of bizarre, but also
Weird.
cool.
Interesting.
All right.
She's a very
spicy.
family woman. Very,
Yeah, that's nice.
That's
good
good to
family
have.
values. Yeah, she's
good to have.
She's got some
a
good
family
roots.
woman.
She's got a solid
good foundation.
body.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
foundation.
Good foundation.
yeah, good head on her breasts.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
head on her breast. Her shoulders.
Yeah.
Wonderful, squishy
Yeah.
brain between those shoulders.
Any and all female listeners are like, all right, click.
Yeah. Clickbait.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
we'll
that's good.
delve more into that relationship and maybe date number 2
Oh,
on the next
yeah.
podcast.
Yeah. That's Travis's wife section.
I used to date her, so that's a
Nope,
thing.
He didn't.
Yes, I did.
Do you ever ask her about
That's
that?
how you
Travis?
met
Does
her,
she talk
honestly.
does she talk about Phil?
One time she said this stranger came up to me and harassed me, and I quickly had to dismiss him.
That was Trevor.
I've never met her before, so it couldn't have been me. I'm married, okay.
I had to dump her because I got engaged.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Things got too serious and,
so that's the only reason she's with Travis right now.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't want to
Right.
make you feel bad about that, but
yeah.
it's just reality.
Yep.
Yeah, such is life. Oh,
Yeah.
darn.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you the reason she wasn't good enough for me. I don't want you to think about that every time
You'll
you
find out
see her
eventually.
face. But yeah, you'll find out eventually. Maybe one day I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I think I found out everything already.
All you need to know, right?
Yeah.
Enough. It'll creep up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I can tell my story, my handyman story.
Oh yeah.
So maybe to end
Speaking
things.
of being in the shower and
yeah,
and maybe
showering and in the bathroom.
in the bathroom.
Yeah, good tie-in.
And
So we got this toilet in our house.
Really? You have a toilet?
Yeah, we got a toilet. We got two of them actually.
damn.
Whoa,
Yeah.
you fancy
I know.
pants.
Yeah, I know. And so the toilet that in the bathroom that I use, so Ashley uses the master to get ready, and like we both shower in the master, but I use
Ooh.
Together?
Together, yeah, occasionally, yeah, we do. Yeah, it's
Page
fun.
out of my book.
It's fun. Do you shower with Kelly sometimes?
Sometimes.
Yeah, see, it's fun. You know, it's nice to have company in the shower
Have you ever taken a bath?
together. Yeah,
Ugh,
Is it too crowded?
it's
it's
crowded.
too crowded.
It's
I watched
crowded.
a commercial the other day. And I'm
I've
like,
had
it's
my
too crowded.
baths,
Yeah.
Intercepted, taken control of.
Well, and like the thing is like yeah, sometimes we'll start a bath and like she'll be like, oh no, you're taller than me, so I'll stay on the faucet side. But then she gets uncomfortable and then she wants to do like the riding down Splash Mountain or riding the log ride style, you know, and it
Yeah.
is like uncomfortable because it's like her back kind of squishes your junk a little bit, and it's like it's nice for a little bit, but then it's like okay,
It's
I'm
like
done.
get out of
I'm
here.
done here. Yeah,
I was trying to
gotta have, like-
relax.
you gotta have like a big ass tub. If
Yeah,
you're
you gotta have
gonna
like
make it
one of those jacuzzi tubs.
work. Yeah.
Like we took one in her parents' bathtub, big jacuzzi
Spoiler
thing.
alert.
But that was fun. They had like a big jacuzzi tub. You know, it was like a hot tub almost.
You know they taking baths in there.
Oh yeah, we bathed in their filth.
Oh,
Yeah.
I prepared
Swapping.
it as I bathed.
Oh.
So funny.
Anyways, back to your toilet.
Anyway, yeah, toilet. So
Speaking of filth,
speaking of filth, so the toilet in my bathroom is a Kohler toilet, and I find them kind of annoying because they have very proprietary like innards
Items.
in the tank, and like they're very like. I don't know. It's like I don't know what you're trying to do, Kohler. Like, what are you trying to do here with your crazy contraption in there? Because it's not like a traditional like flapper. It's like a weird cylinder thing, and like there's this weird fill up valve, and like there's all this. It's too much. Too much. You know, don't unnecessary. You know,
Right.
I like the flapper. I can fix the flapper, no problem.
right?
So, well, anyway, oh, and
Flap
the other,
on,
the other
flap
thing about
off,
them is like
the
they're
flapper.
they're expensive to replace, but you can find them on like eBay for cheap and stuff like that. So go to eBay if you got a Kohler toilet or Amazon. And so I replaced all the parts, got it all fixed up, and I still couldn't get it to stop leaking. And
So the water was running and
Yeah.
running, and you couldn't figure out why.
yeah, so like every like 20 minutes the toilet would just start running. And you hear it, and it's like when
Yeah.
you hear it, you're just like you just hear your money going down the drain. You're like, ah, like
Literally.
literally, yeah, right. Yeah, well, not almost literally.
kind of-
well,
what's a drain?
You're spending on
it's
it going down the drain.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, so yeah, I guess it is. So anyway, basically I said enough's enough. I'm gonna get a new toilet. And so Ashley and I last weekend after the gym went to Home Depot and picked up a toilet. We picked up the Delta Turner 2-piece toilet.
Nice.
Yeah, it was on sale. But I had done some research
Is
on
that
it
like
before.
the love toilet
Yeah.
from SNL?
No. I don't know.
The double pooper?
I remember that skit.
Yeah,
but
I'm
I
trying to
don't
remember that skit. But anyway, so I got it home, and I was like just doing a bunch of projects around the house, and I was like feeling ambitious. So I was like, I'm gonna fucking replace this toilet. So I get the old toilet off, get it all replaced. And you have to like unbolt it, and I had to like cut the grout away from it and lift it out and everything. So then there's this wax ring that sits on top of the gasket or whatever that sits on the hole in the floor, and it looks disgusting. Like if you've ever seen one, they look disgusting when they've been smushed down. They're like petroleum jelly,
Yeah.
and they're like a really gross color. So I got all that cleaned up, and the whole time I'm doing this, I'm filming this for a video. I was like, oh, I'm gonna make a video, and so I get it all cleaned up, and I'm getting ready to have Ashley help me put the new one in. And so I got the new wax ring sitting there, and I got the camera set down at the base, kind of on the floor, like low level, because I thought it'd be cool to get like a low angle of the toilet, kind of dropping down on it. And so as I'm getting focus, there's like this large object
No.
moving, and I'm like, what is that? And as I rack, the biggest roach I've ever seen in my life is coming out of the drain.
What's going on in the sewers around here?
It's, I mean, I don't know if there's something in comparison, but I mean, it was like easily that big.
Like 4 inches.
Like it was massive, and it had friends. And
They came out?
They kept trying to like come up, And so I had this little
Oh my God, this is the grossest thing I've ever heard in my life. They probably eat our shit
I-
all day long.
I know it.
Are they aquatic? Can they live underwater?
But
what the hell?
That's what I thought too initially, but then I was like, I thought about it, and the pipe is not full of water
Only the
all
bottom
the time.
is. The top's almost
No, but this is the
relatively
pipe in the
dry.
ground that goes to the septic tank.
So the pipe's dry most of the time and then it just gets flushed
Just
with water?
flush with water.
You have a septic tank?
Yeah.
No, they're probably living inside the septic tank. They're probably living in there, eating your shit completely all the time.
And they kept trying to come out, and this is
Oh my God, I would have shot someone's Ray down there like a freaking bomb.
So I was like beating them back with the scraper. I'm like, yeah, and like it would scare them. But this is how, like, they were so big and confident. I would scare them away for a second, and then they would just slowly, casually start coming back up.
Probably because there's so many underneath them. Like,
Big
go
and
up,
confident.
Frank. We need to see what's up there.
I was
More
like,
poop. Hopefully,
This is Ashley's nightmare too, by the way. I was like, and she's about to help me put the new toilet in.
Did you like kill them or something? Pour bleach down there?
No, I kept scaring him back, And so I scared him back one more time, and I went out because I made a sound. I was like, oh, fuck. And Ashley's like, what? What is it? And I was like,
You didn't tell her?
I didn't tell her right away. I was like, nothing. And so then, but she had to help me put the new toilet in.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to tell her because I don't want her to get scared and like drop the toilet. So it's funny because I hit record on the camera and you see me walk out and you can hear me prepping her for what's about to happen. And like first thing I did was I scared him away and I went out there and I was like, okay, here's the deal. There's giant roaches coming out of the drain. She's like, no. And I'm like, yes, but I'm going to need your help. I've scared them back. This is what we're going to do. And I basically went through step by step. I was like, we're going to go in there. We're going to set it down. We have to set the toilet down evenly and put even pressure down to squish the new wax ring down and watertight, and we'll be good. And I said, okay, you good? And she's like, yeah. I was like, okay, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to scare him back one more time and then we're going to do it. And then I went back in there with the spatula thing or the scraper. And
They were everywhere.
Yeah. Oh God. I know. That's what I thought when I was going to walk in there, but there was like 2 or 3 of them starting. And I was like, get out of here. And so they went back in. We went and got the toilet and I'm glad to report no roaches. You're all right.
One just came out of Travis's mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'm glad to report there are no roaches in the bathroom. But I couldn't believe that. I was like, I had no idea. I was like,
Oh.
how are they living in here?
Those
But
are just
of course,
the scouter roaches.
Yeah,
They
for
were-
every one you see, there's 1,000, they say.
they were well fed. I will say that.
On your own
Yes.
feces.
Yeah.
You are feeding an army down there.
Yeah, I know. They got a massive house down there in that septic tank.
It's
with
Dunkirk.
endless food supply.
Yeah, you gotta like
400,000.
pour
You
like
know,
a
they
bunch
have
of
to-
gasoline down, and then
You
like,
got to be the
light a
Germans
fire.
and like
Get crazy.
raid those roaches, destroy them,
Yeah.
burn them
Oh,
alive,
man.
blow them up.
They were. Those were the biggest roaches I've ever seen in my life. I was like, this is disgusting. This is like.
That is disgusting.
So I hope you weren't eating during that. I guess I should
Yeah.
have prefaced that.
Yeah. we
But,
didn't pull over.
Lights.
We're about to listen to this.
but
That's
it's
like
funny.
a fear of mine. Is something coming up.
Yeah. I had no idea. I thought you were going to say like
Well-
a snake or like
Oh, a snake is. A snake? I'm sitting on the toilet. Oh,
I
God.
thought you were going to say a snake.
No,
Coming
that's
out.
the worst.
Wait, remember? Okay. Well, tell a story of Mike the cop. We met Mike
Oh
the
yeah,
cop.
Mike the cop.
So we were walking. We were taking a break.
We're
Walking
fucking
around.
on to you, OPD.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
were
got
out
you.
there taking a break, walking around.
Nice try.
walking around the block, and this one dude's like, "Oh, excuse me, I'm new in town, and do any of you have weed? I need marijuana." And I was like, "Okay, officer." And he's like, "No, my name's Mike," and I was like, "Oh yeah, Officer Mike. I
Mike
mean,
the
just
cop.
Mike, just regular Mike." People call me Mike the cop. I don't know why they do that. Just
Yeah, he said his name was Mike. He said he worked in IT, and he moved from Utah and used to be Mormon.
and we were like, "Where do you work IT for?" He's like, "Europe."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was trying to buy weed. He was like wondering where he could buy weed from.
Yeah,
and I
he's
feel
like, "You
bad
guys
because I
look like
kind of
Mike's."
put Travis on blast a little bit when I pointed to him, but I was like, Travis doesn't have weed, but he could tell you like where you could get it, you know.
Yeah.
But
Maybe. I don't
maybe
know.
Maybe.
you
Well,
know, that's
anyone,
kind of what I was
It's a
thinking.
modern world. We could all kind of point you in the
Yeah.
direction.
Yeah,
That way.
yeah. Travis is a man of the night. He hangs out downtown, and
It
you've had
smells
several
like weed.
people approach you and smells like it. So it's like
Yeah.
I thought, oh yeah, maybe he could,
But in the middle of the day, in the middle of the open,
Park
museum
area, in
lawn,
front of the
park
History Center,
area
yeah.
in front of the. Hey, I'm new in town. You got weed?
I should
Yeah.
report him to the
Yeah, we
He
should
also
report him.
said he lived. He also said so. He moved from Utah, and we were like, "Oh, where are you?
Oh,
where are you
Pine
living?" And
Hills.
he's like, He's like, "I'm renting in Pine Hills." And we were like, "Oh." He said a fucking bullet
Yeah.
rolled out in the.
That's why this
toilet.
story
There's another
relates.
toilet.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was flushed his toilet. That's why this
Yeah.
got brought up. And he said a bullet rolled out from the
like
drain.
in the in
From
the like the part where you poop into. Like that's where it came from.
It, and he said he was been there for weeks, and then just this bullet came up from the drain.
He showed us a photo. And
Yeah, it looked
Looked
like a turd.
but it was
Yeah.
a bullet.
yeah.
But you know what's interesting?
What's scary
too?
is it wasn't it wasn't the casing.
It was just like a
Yeah.
It was the full bullet,
Full
like
bullet.
with the top on it.
You know who
Yeah.
has bullets?
Huh.
Cops.
That's what it's
Yep.
like. Oh yeah, okay,
Yep.
cop.
Oh, here's my
Oh, yeah.
story.
Well, let me
Throw a
finish the
bullet.
story. We were about
Yeah.
to, or yeah, well, anyway, we were like, okay. Nice meeting you. Whatever. Travis actually got his phone number.
Oh yeah.
Saved it under
I gave him
Mike,
my business card.
Mike the cop.
Yeah.
But so as we were walking away, this cop on a bike rode right up to us and kind of like smiled and then slowed down and sort of like talked to Mike the cop. And we
Yeah.
rounded the corner because we had said, "Oh yeah, we work in this building right here, this brick building." And as we got to the brick building, there was another bicycle
Bike cop.
cop waiting outside the door, like scoping around, and we were like, "That Mike the cop was a cop." Man.
Yeah.
Mike the cop.
I want to hang out around there, because he said he's off at I think he's off at 1 or 2 because he gets up really early. I want to hang out around there and see if we see him again. Or
Yeah.
we should
Oh,
text him and get him to hang
we
out
forgot.
again.
We forgot like his
Caregiver.
whole. We forgot the whole. The other thing that was so funny was like his character, Mike, who works in IT for Europe. It was all like
Yeah.
It was all like created by like some 50-year-old cop. It seemed
Yeah,
like it was
yeah.
like, okay, what's my name? Your name's Mike.
Mike.
Okay,
Oh,
what do
that's
I
good.
do?
That's good.
I work IT.
Yeah.
You work IT. Where do I work IT for? Europe. Okay, what do I tell them I'm doing standing on the street corner? Playing Pokemon Go.
yeah. What do the kids do?
What do the
these
kids
days?
do?
Oh, Pokemon
You're
Go,
a
yeah.
young kid. I don't know, playing
Here,
Pokemon
put
Go.
these weird sandals on and this funny T-shirt that looks like a meme and
No, Mike. An ex-Mormon
nice try, OPD.
playing Pokemon
Nice
Go,
try.
looking for weed in the middle of the day. I don't buy it.
Yeah, it was very weird, very suspicious. And the bike cop in front of our building was talking to a guy in plain clothes that he looked like a cop as well.
Yeah.
Like, what's happening?
Yeah, it was like cops. And then remember we got on the elevator and the guy, the big, strong guy with like a flat top, and
Yeah.
it was like kind of like listening. And we
Yeah,
said
he had
something
like his
like,
recorder in his backpack or his
Yeah.
lunchbox.
and we said something like, if Mike the cop ever calls, we'll send him to our friend. I'll call him like Kyle. And he's like, oh, I don't know. They said something about a Kyle. I didn't hear much, but they said something about the Kyle Swarms.
I just
Yeah.
hope that we were like so confusing that they were just like, in my 20 years of being on the police force, I've never
Yeah.
been more confused about
Well,
this.
if this is your tactic,
yeah.
come on.
It's not good.
Get a
Like,
good-
this is bad. Like,
Get real.
they wasted a bunch of time and energy.
Talking to us.
yeah.
I mean, that just talking to us in general usually wastes a lot of time and
Yeah.
energy.
What
let
should
alone-
our plan be to capture drug people? Just ask them. Tell them you're playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Ask them for drugs in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
He worked for Zima.
Yeah. Oh,
Zima.
that was the other
Zima.
thing.
The other thing, Zima,
Yeah.
the IT company.
Zima from
Yeah.
Europe. I'm gonna look
Okay.
that up.
Look it up.
I don't know if I'm gonna talk to him again.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Mike the cop.
You're not going to talk to him, and then he's going to text me.
Yeah. But he did say he might need some video work in a few months.
But that was another
Because
weird- I
We're
feel-
going to be prosecuting you and need you to document yourself.
To film our own arraignment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like that was weird. The next day, he was like, "Hey, I think I got some video work.
Yeah.
Maybe we should."
Hang out.
Hang
Bring me to
out.
your house and let me see where you stash
Yeah.
all these drugs.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in Orlando and you're approached by Mike the cop,
Maybe be his friend.
be his
if
friend,
he's
but
real.
be careful.
But if not, don't.
Yeah.
Give
It's like
him
he seemed
drugs.
like a cool
Be
guy.
his
I wouldn't
friend,
mind
just be
being his
careful.
friend, like maybe hanging out, getting
Just
a
be
drink.
like, if he
But
starts
stop
asking
acting
about drugs,
copy and
just,
Yeah.
Mormon-y.
yeah, stop acting copy.
like, I don't really like to talk about drugs.
I mean,
Sorry.
Zima's a company. It's a
Eh.
leading business development
Well,
company.
see, I'm sure it
Yeah.
would be a company
Because
because
they
they're
did-
the police.
they
They're
did their
going to
research.
do some back research.
Brand architects. Yeah, bullshit.
Oh, fun fact about toilets though, is so the bottom part of the toilet. I didn't know this. Like, you know how there's water in the bowl?
Right.
That water is only, it's only sitting in that little like reservoir area. Like, it's not as if the pipe is just full of water and it's watertight. Because of the way that tube is made, the water, it fills in and the water kind of sits in the first section of the tube and like here. And so the bottom part that goes down to your septic tank is dry. And so when
Right.
you flush it, it goes down. I didn't know that. Maybe y'all knew that.
I didn't know that either.
But it was funny because like when I drained all the water out of the tank, the bowl was still full of water, and I was like, "What the hell?" And so I had to I used the shop vac and like vacuumed that part out, which that was also messing with plumbing, anything related to like the toilet and like shit. Just it's no good,
No good.
no good. But we got to do it sometimes. Well, anyway, yeah, Mike the cop.
Yeah, I want to see him again, and I want to see him in public, and I want to introduce him to everyone. Hey, everybody, here's Mike the cop.
Yeah.
Mike the cop. Mike the cop.
It's a great nickname. Like if he becomes part of our inner circle or something, he'll always be Mike
He's
the cop.
always Mike the cop now.
Yeah.
But then it's just like, why do they call you Mike the cop? And then everyone would think he's a cop.
But
Yeah,
then
it's
now
like
our
launch
joke
into that
came true.
story.
Our joke would have come true. Like I'm Officer. I mean, regular Mike. They call me Mike the cop. I don't know why they do that.
You know,
They could be real.
They could be real.
Mike the cop.
Anything else on the agenda?
I should reverse bust him.
you
with
should.
the FBI.
You asked me for drugs. That's a crime.
Yeah, I'm with the DEA.
Yeah.
I'm going down.
You're going downtown.
You should
Yeah.
you should call up the DEA and offer to do undercover services for them
I know someone.
who asked for drugs in the middle of the day. Used to be a Mormon. Works IT for Europe for
Yeah.
Zima.
Says he's
Name's
got
Mike
bullets
the cop.
in
Got
his
bullets
toilet.
in the toilet.
It'd been funny if we just like yelled, "This guy's a cop!"
Yeah,
and
tell that
ran.
cop, officer, that man, get him. He wants the drugs."
Narc. Yeah. Instead, we sat there and talked to him about Mormonism
Pokemon.
and Pokemon.
But he did know a lot about Mormonism. You know,
He did, good job, OPD, for
I can-
really
yeah.
keeping your bases covered.
Well,
if somebody's
he's
going to
probably
ask you,
he could be a real Mormon though.
like, oh,
Yeah.
Mormon turned cop.
say you're Mormon. Somebody's going to ask you about it. Here's what you say.
I
or
can
yeah,
believe
or
that
yeah, but
he's a
maybe he
Mormon
was.
cop.
He's a
Or
Mormon
ex-Mormon cop.
Yeah, he used to work in Utah, not for IT, but for the police department.
Police.
Ooh,
Ooh, that's
Mormon cop.
Yeah,
Because they don't like drugs. They're probably like, get him off the streets.
yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mormons are pretty nice though.
Yeah, I mean, he was nice. Nice, Mike.
Nice until he busts you.
Yeah. Can't trust anybody in this world.
Nope.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps up this edition of the Laser Lion podcast.
Got a lot of work done today.
Yeah.
Saw the accountant.
Saw the accountant. That was good. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. We love all of you. And that's it. Philip, you want to sign us off?
Sure. Thanks for listening to the Laser Lion podcast. I'm Philip Shuck.
I'm Trevor Cruz.
And I'm Travis Ingram.
Bye.
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 I always wonder if we should say
What
like
should we say?
I'm Philip Shuck,
Trevor Cruz.
Travis Ingram.
and you just listen to the This is my podcast. Like, should you
And
end
then
it
end it
opposite
that.
or like say it start it opposite? Anyway.
That's good.
don't
Just
know.
like, I think it's better than saying bye. See you later.
Let's all do it.
Man, that sounded good.
Oh yeah. We harmonized that sound, whatever that was. All right.
Bye.
Adios. Cha cha.